Hey guys, welcome to this new video because today I'm going to a trip in Mekong Delta. I wanted to share you my experience and my advice for foreigner about biking in Vietnam. By biking, I mean owning a bike, using a bike on a day-to-day basis or just renting it, as well as all the criteria you need to know, the pros and cons and my own experience of having this kind of bike in Vietnam. So if you guys don't know about my story, I've been living here for more than 4 years and been traveling the country from the south to the north. So I kind of know and I kind of see the changes, the different trends for tourists and for foreigners who want to use bike in Vietnam. So before we get started, let me share you about this trip. I'm going to Mekong Delta. So it's about 3 hour drive. So I'm going there for some business. You can check in the end of the video if you really want to know exactly what I'm doing there. So usually when I'm going on a trip like this, I like to go to a banh mi. So it's kind of a ritual I usually go. I have a banh mi called Banh Mi Ba So Hai in District 7. So it's very close to a park, it's very chill. And so I can prepare my itinerary, see a little bit what's about the weather. Nowadays, because it's the beginning of the rainy seasons, it may rain. That's why I took a raincoat with me, and I will try to leave Ho Chi Minh City not so late. So I'm gonna take that camera. I'm gonna bring you during all my journey to Mekong Delta, and I'm going to answer you some of the questions you may have about biking in Vietnam. You can check in the description. I will leave a summary of the video and a few different questions I want to answer you guys, so you can directly jump to that question if that's something that interests you. Let's get started. Okay, so first question you guys may have, is it safe? Because maybe you say, oh, this foreigner going in the country by himself, is it that safe? Actually, I would say yes, generally speaking. Of course, if this is your first time in Vietnam, you should be careful. You see on my back there is a lot of trucks. Most of the time the road is like this, so there is no separation between the truck side and the motorbike side. For the traffic here, it's not the same rules as in Western countries. The more you have a light bike, a bicycle, you don't have any priority, so you will have to be careful a lot of those big trucks and cars. So generally speaking, this is safe, but you have to be careful if this is your first time in Vietnam. If you travel outside of the big city, I definitely recommend you to have this kind of jacket, this kind of helmet, gloves as well, to be sure that if you have an accident, at least you protect your body. So this is for the first question. Second question you guys may have, it's about what happens if I have an accident. Actually, there is a lot of mechanics all around the way. They are called CEC in Vietnamese, so it's written like CEC, and basically they can help you to fix your bike in case of anything, in kind of a flat tire or some pieces that is broken. Actually, when I've been traveling in Vietnam from the south to the north, I stopped maybe 5 or 6 times to those kind of mechanics guy to fix my bike at that time. So don't worry for that. You will find around all your journey in Vietnam, people can then help you to fix your bike. Third question you guys may have about biking in Vietnam. Are foreigners allowed to own their own bikes in Vietnam? So the response is true, and actually if you see on my plate number there is the sign NN, which means Nuc Noi. So actually I have a blue card under my name that can really give me the right to own my own bike in Vietnam. So yes, foreigners can own their own bikes in Vietnam. Actually, there is a specificity about that, is that if you are a foreigner and if you own a blue card, your blue card will expire when your TRC expires. So your TRC is the temporary residency card. So basically, if you have a 2 years TRC, like most of the expats living in Vietnam, then you will have to renew your blue card every 2 years. But it's something I do recommend you to do. You can ask some local friends, they will help you to go to the authorities and to get the card under your name. And to answer the other question, right now I'm here Mít Ho, exactly in Mít Ho Riverside. So it's directly a road that is next to Mekong Delta, the river. And as you can see on my back, this is the bridge that I'm going to take to reach Ben Tre. And actually I took this road instead of the other one that was suggested by Google Maps, just to avoid the traffic. If you travel to Vietnam, you will see that there is a lot of traffic on the big roads, and sometimes it's better to take alternative itinerary, just as the one that I point you on the map right now. This itinerary will be better for driving, and you will enjoy better the whole way around your journey, and you will avoid the big trucks that you may have seen before in the video. So now let's answer another question you may have. Should you rent or buy your motorbike in Vietnam? Actually, if you're here for less than 3 months, I would definitely recommend you to rent. You won't have to handle with the paperwork, you won't have to buy your bike, you can just rent it. It's gonna cost you about 1 million per month, and in the end you can just leave the bike to the owner. But if you plan to stay in Vietnam for more than 3 months, let's say 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, then definitely you should buy it. So the first month when I arrived in Vietnam, I bought a bike for about $300, and actually I sold that bike after 6 months. So I could get used to the traffic, get used to the way Vietnamese are driving. And if you've been to Vietnam already, you know how it can be pretty crowded on the big streets, and it's better to try step by step before buying a better bike like this one. So should you rent or buy your bike, it depends on your own situation, your driving skills, as well as your plan if you wanna just come to Vietnam as a tourist or settle here for a couple of months or years. So now actually it started to rain, so I took a break in a coffee place. So it's called usually Café Vung. So it's a place where you will have hammock, and you can order nuoc mia, that is sugar cane or coconut. This is usually what the locals are doing, and it's also a way to take a break. So I'm going to answer another questions that you may have about biking in Vietnam. That's the problem of the driving license. So I just share about, is it better to rent or to buy? But actually, is it mandatory to have a bike in Vietnam? From my own perspective, living here for quite a while and traveling across the country, I invite you to really take a bike so you can have a better local experience. Obviously, if you live in big city like Saigon, Hanoi, Da Nang, you will have Grab, so you can use Grab bikes or Grab car everywhere. Those people can carry you everywhere. But if you want to have a truly real local experience, definitely having a bike in Vietnam can help you to go deep in the culture and connect more with the locals. So here you see we are in the middle of the island, it's called Ben Tre. This place is really very, very local, but right after you're gonna see a little bit more about what I mean by local experience that you cannot have if you take a car or a bus in Vietnam. So I'm going to continue with another question. It's about driving license. How does it work for foreigner? So actually, if you have a foreign driving license, you can directly convert it to the local one. So if you have a A2 or a B2, you can directly convert it. But if you do not have foreign driving license, you can still in Vietnam pass different biking driving license. It can be the A2 or the A1. It depends which kind of bike you wanna drive. Personally, I have the A2, so I can drive big bikes in Vietnam. I didn't have that driving license before, so I pass it in Vietnam. If you wanna learn more about this, I will leave a link in the description. You can check more about this. It's pretty simple. You can just contact driving school and they will go through the process. Sometimes you have some tests to do to know the code and the rules of the driving in Vietnam. And then after you have a practical test that finally will grant you your driving license in Vietnam. The good thing is that if you pass your driving license in Vietnam, you will also be able to convert it and to get the international one. So this is what I did actually. First you pass your local driving license and finally you just go to the Department of Transport. It's very simple. You can also check in the description. I will leave the link so you can get more information about this. You can ask some friends to go with you and within 1 week or 2 weeks, I don't remember, you can get the international driving license. So in the end, you will pass your driving license in Vietnam and it's gonna cost you 3 or 4 times less than if you pass it in your hometown back in your country. Another question that foreigners are usually asking is, do you need to have a health insurance in Vietnam? Of course, you have inpatient and outpatient insurance in Vietnam. It can be local plans or international provider. I also definitely invite you to check and to get more information about this, because if one day you have an accident, you cannot rely on the local system to cover all the expenses that you will get in hospital. Inside Move to Asia, we also provide this kind of help for foreigners. So if you want to learn more and get personalized quotation to know how much it's going to cost you to get insurance in Vietnam, you can check in the description and you will learn more about this, and we can have personalized quotation based on your age and which kind of refunds you want to get in Vietnam. Stop raining, so we're gonna go for the end of the trip to finally reach Vinh Long, and you will see what I mean by local experience, bike that you can only have if you take bikes in Vietnam. So here I am in Vinh Long, finally, after 3 hours of driving. It went pretty smooth, a little bit of rain, but everything went well. I just had a shower and a chao ga. And actually I'm here, this is the purpose why I came here in Vinh Long today. So this land actually is a land that I invested about 2 years ago. So it's kind of a value land, so it's well located in the center, but not of course not mainly in the city center. It's a little bit outside. Just here there is a market. Over there are buildings or facilities next to the Mekong River. So finally it may be a place where more and more people will pass by. And so we decided just a few weeks ago to basically clean it up, because before it was quite messy here. There were a lot of trees, a lot of grass, you know, and we decided to clean it up and to build a tiny house. So this house can be for food and beverage business, like coffee restaurant, or just a shop, or say, you know, a mechanic guy, because it's very well located. So it may be a good location to get some monthly cash flow as an investor. So if you guys want to learn more about this project, you can first subscribe to the channel, so you're sure you won't miss the video talking about this project. And I'm going to cover on this next video that you may see in a couple of weeks about the land aspects, how as a foreigner you can buy a land, but as well as the construction side, how much it's finally cost to build a house like this in Mekong. So it's going to be a 55 square meter. I'm teasing you a little bit. 1 bedroom, 1 main living room, a common area here, and a garden on the back. And I'm gonna explain like basically the expenses breakthrough, the projected ROI, so return on investment, we may get from this investment. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you an illustration about driving in Vietnam for foreigners. So if you guys have more questions, you can check in the descriptions. I will leave some links, some resources, and don't hesitate to ping me out, to leave a comment, and we can discuss about your concern and potential solutions. I hope you guys enjoy again this video, and I see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.
And I'ma get it right, get on sight like